don't need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
This question comes all the way from Tabitha in Arkansas. Tabitha writes, "Hi there. I've been given the green light to redecorate our house. Tragically, the person who owned the house before painted every wall and every ceiling the same shade of brown. Ick. Anyway, my husband insists that our ceilings not be stark white. We are going with the color silver gray for our living room walls and beach glass for our bedroom and bathrooms. What color would you suggest for the ceilings?" All right, well, thanks for writing, Tabitha. Yes, you sent in a picture of this brown, and it is really oppressive. So I'm happy to hear that you're changing that out. I am sad to hear that your husband does not like white ceilings, because that's what you do. Typically, you do a white ceiling, especially when you have popcorn ceilings. You have a textured ceiling. It may not be true popcorn, but it's textured here, right? And with a textured ceiling, we don't really want to draw attention to it. It's not a great look, right? A flat ceiling is much better. So the more colorful, the more out of the box color we choose for the paint for this ceiling, the more attention is going to be drawn to it. So I would really suggest that we paint it a version of white, a shade of white. We can tell your husband it's a different color because all these paint colors have interesting names, often that don't involve the word white, but I don't think we want to go with a true color. Now, I love silver gray and I love beach glass. Both of those Benjamin Moore paint colors do have subtle cool tones underneath. So you'll want to go with a white that has some cool tones that kind of plays with that. So you might look at something like Decorator's White for the ceiling, even though that does have white in the name, doesn't it? But I would avoid doing like a warmer white, like atrium white, because the yellow that's in atrium white is going to not work as well with the blue. If you're trying to minimize how cold the blue feels, then maybe that's a good use of an atrium white that has a warm undertone. But if I'm trying to kind of make the whole thing a cooler experience, I'd go for a cooler white. And just to make your husband feel a little bit better, in paint, there is no such thing as pure white, because paint, the actual material itself, has a color, and it's hard to remove that color, rather they overlay. We have an amazing rep at Benjamin Moore who did like a 2-hour class for both the Interior Design Academy that I teach and also my own interior designers, and she gave a wealth of knowledge. But one of the key takeaways for me is that Benjamin Moore does not offer a pure white. So it'll be called white, but against another tone, you'll always see some kind of underlying tone, because they had to infuse it with something, because they had to negate what's just going on in the base of paint. I thought that was really intriguing. So just tell your husband that there's no such thing as white paint. Will that work? Is he going to buy that? All right, Tabitha, I'm so glad that you wrote in.
A big thank you to our amazing producer, Catherine Heller, to Aton and the MVCR House Band, and to Affordable Interior Design, the sponsor of this podcast and the premier place to get an amazing look on a budget. Check out affordableinteriordesign.com. If you guys love the show, the very best way to support us is by spreading the word. Tell your friends or write us an awesome review on iTunes. So until next week, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.